America, land of the free, home of the brave, and apparently the land of the easily startled. We love our guns almost as much as we love complaining about them. It's a complicated relationship, like that one ex you just can't quit. But let's be real, folks. This ain't about the Second Amendment. This is about the secondhand trauma, the kind that lingers long after the sirens fade and the news crews pack up. The kind that keeps people up at night, wondering if they're next. We're talking about the mental health fallout of gun violence, a topic heavier than a bag of bowling balls dropped from a skyscraper. But hey, we're Americans. We love a challenge, especially when it involves unpacking deeply uncomfortable truths. So buckle up, buttercups. Imagine this. You're at the grocery store picking out avocados when suddenly, gunshots, chaos, screaming. You survive, physically unharmed. But your mind? That's a different story. That's what trauma does. It latches onto you, whispering doubts and fears in your ear long after the danger has passed. Sleepless nights? Check. Panic attacks in aisle 5? Bingo. It's like living with a smoke alarm that won't stop blaring, even when there's no fire. And it's not just the direct victims. Witnesses, first responders, even those who consume the constant barrage of news. We're all getting a taste of this toxic cocktail. It's enough to make you want to crawl into a bunker and never come out. So, surviving a mass shooting. Who here thought it would all be over after the headlines died down? Yeah, no. I still jump every time a toaster pops. That's PTSD. It sticks around, like glitter. Now, before you grab your pitchforks and torches, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the perpetrators. It's easy to slap a monster label on them and call it a day, but the truth is, it's way more complicated than that. It's not that simple. Mental illness is often a factor, but it's not the whole story. Not every shooter has a mental illness, but some stew in anger, isolation, and, well, bad decisions. It's like saying everyone who eats pizza gets heartburn. Sure, there's a connection, but it's not that simple. We're talking about a perfect storm of factors here. Social isolation, economic hardship, access to firearms, and yes, untreated mental health issues. It's like baking a cake of despair and surprise. Nobody wants to eat it. Enter the heroes of our story, mental health professionals. These are the folks who deal with the emotional shrapnel of gun violence every single day. They're like the janitors of our collective psyche, cleaning up the messes nobody wants to touch. And let's be real, it ain't pretty. They're overworked, underpaid, and facing a tsunami of need. Imagine being a lifeguard at a beach where everyone's simultaneously drowning. That's the kind of pressure they're under. We need to give these folks a raise, a hug, and maybe a lifetime supply of noise-canceling headphones. Because without them, we're all up a creek without a paddle. Section 5. Breaking point. When systems fail, people break. Here's a fun fact. America's mental health care system is about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. We've got more people falling through the cracks than there are cracks to fall through. And when people don't get the help they need, guess what happens? They reach a breaking point. Sometimes that looks like a mental breakdown. Sometimes it looks like violence. And sometimes, tragically, it looks like both. We can't keep treating mental health like it's some kind of luxury item, only available to the rich and famous. It's as essential as healthcare, education, and a decent Wi-Fi connection. Section 6. A helping hand. The power of reaching out. Now, before you start feeling hopeless, remember this. We're not powerless. Each of us has a role to play in this whole mess. It starts with checking in on each other, like actually checking in, not just liking a post on social media and calling it a day. Ask your friends how they're doing, listen to their struggles, offer a shoulder to cry on, or a listening ear. Or maybe just a really good pizza recommendation. Sometimes the smallest gestures can make the biggest difference. Section 7. Funding the front lines. Putting money where our mouths are. Remember those overworked, underpaid mental health heroes we talked about? Yeah, it's time to show them some love. And by love, I mean cold, hard cash. We need to invest in mental health services like our lives depend on it. Because guess what? They kind of do. That means more funding for schools, community centers, and hospitals. It means making therapy more accessible and affordable. It's time to stop throwing money at the problem of gun violence after it happens and start investing in prevention. Think of it like flossing. Sure, it's a pain in the you-know-what, but it's a lot less painful than dealing with a root canal later. Section 8. Changing the narrative. From stigma to support. Let's address the elephant in the room wearing the "I'm fine" t-shirt, the stigma surrounding mental health. We need to stop treating it like it's some kind of personal failing, like forgetting your anniversary or accidentally liking your ex's post from 2017. It's time to normalize talking about mental health, whether it's anxiety, depression, or just feeling like a human being in a world that's constantly on fire. The more we talk about it, the less scary it becomes. And who knows, we might even realize that we're not alone in this whole hot mess. Section 9. A call to arms. Our collective responsibility. This isn't just a government issue, folks. This is a human issue. We all have a responsibility to create a safer, more supportive world, both for ourselves and for each other. That means calling out BS when we see it. It means having those awkward conversations about mental health. It means demanding better from our leaders and from ourselves. We can't afford to stay silent anymore. The stakes are too high, and frankly, we're all too tired for this crap. Section 10. Time to act. Because thoughts and prayers aren't enough. We need more than hope and hugs. We need intervention. Here's the bottom line, folks. Thoughts and prayers are great and all, but they're about as effective as a chocolate teapot when it comes to solving complex problems. We need action, we need change, and we need it now. So, what are you waiting for? Go volunteer at a local mental health organization. Donate to a cause you believe in. Educate yourself and others on the issues. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. Mental health isn't a luxury. Early intervention saves lives and sanity. Let's get to work, people. Want to prevent the next tragedy? Let's start with something radical. That is, talking. For the next episode, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Let's keep this conversation going.